welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your hostess Abigail and Tommy.
No, we can both be hosts, but I can't be a hostess.
Did I say hostess?
You said hostess, Abigail, and Tommy, as if I was also a hostess. Or I'm not a host, I'm just a person that's there. Hello, I've broken into the studio again. I've never made that noise in my entire life.
I can't do anything right, can I?
No.
I'm just an endless failure in everything I do. I got told off earlier for saying the phrase because I was talking about cutting the grass and said, "Oh, I need to put the grass cutter away." You had no idea what that was. Did you actually have any idea what that was, or were you just taking them in?
I kind of thought I maybe knew what you meant, but I was a bit worried about maybe you were talking about something else. Because if I said, "Do you mean a lawnmower?" there's a decent chance you would have said, "No, I know what a lawnmower is. I'm talking about this. How do you know what a grass cutter is?" So I thought I would ask. And then
What do you call it?
A lawnmower.
But I thought lawn was an American term, and you don't like American terms.
No, yard is an American term.
Oh.
Lawn is grass. Lawn is grass, so it's always acceptable to say lawn for your grass.
Grass cutter. I've burned my finger, and it's quite sore.
What's a weed whacker?
I think it's like a strimmer.
Why is it called a weed whacker?
Because
you don't use it on weeds.
Big weeds.
You shouldn't use it on weeds.
What, a strimmer?
No.
Big ones. But like people can sometimes use weed as a general term. So for example, my dad says that any flower that isn't purposely planted is a weed.
Are you seriously telling me that if you had
like in a garden,
if you had a rose bush, if you had some chrysanthemums and you didn't want them there, your first thought would be, bring me the buzzsaw?
No, there's like certain types of wildflower which are more of a weed than
that's what I'm trying to
flower.
That's what I'm trying to get across. You wouldn't
flower.
cut one of those with a strimmer.
No.
The strimmer is for edging the grass.
No, a strimmer's for like getting rid of brambles.
No.
Well, that's what we use it for.
You shouldn't.
Not in our garden at my grand's house.
But you shouldn't. You should use a trimmer for that.
Well, it's a multi-tool. It's actually a multi-tool.
If it's rotary, then you fire brambles everywhere. If it's a trimmer and it just goes like forward and back, you can cut them so they fall straight down. But if you're adding angular momentum, they will fly everywhere. So you shouldn't use a strimmer for that.
No, it's a proper big multi-tool thing. So you've got like a harness and everything for it.
Okay, that doesn't prevent you from adding angular momentum to something. If the blade rotates or the wire or plastic clip rotates, you will fire things everywhere. If it does this with blades, so the blades sliding across each other, so it's like 100 pairs of scissors, then it will just fall. If you're cutting something jaggy or sharp, you don't strim it so it fires everywhere.
I've used it before, and it's never done that.
Well, so I'm asking you: is it
rotary?
It's rotating?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't do that.
Well, I'm still here.
That's when they do a brain scan and realise that she's got half a rhododendron up her nose.
I don't use it on rhododendrons. It was brambles.
Rhododendrons.
Do you want to continue on?
A bramble is spiky at points, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is also known as a briar.
Exactly.
Well, actually, is a briar the same as a bramble?
I don't care. It's spiky. If you cut that and it fires everywhere, you're taking people's heads off. It's like a fragmentation mine of juiciness.
The way that you're describing it, it's like a bomb going off, and it's really not. It's not like that at all.
Hey, don't blame the messenger.
Anyway, what have you been playing?
A strimmer, or a weed whacker, is for cutting grass. And it's for cutting the edges of the lawn to make them nice and neat. That's why it has a foot guard on it.
What's a foot guard?
You know the big plastic sheath that goes over the top of it?
Oh, I thought that was to protect you from it actually going up into your face.
Mm-hmm. But a part of it is also there to function to prevent you from cutting your toes off by trimming your feet with it.
That is my biggest fear of using that, actually.
We had a bit at the side of the garden that was totally overgrown, and we were just cutting it to keep it vermin free.
Yeah.
And so I took the plastic cover off because I was trying to use it horizontally and it was getting in the way. Because the grass was like 2 feet tall.
So this is where you tell me you've actually lost half your toes.
No. I was wearing steel toe cap boots.
Oh, that's smart. That is actually... to be fair, I do sometimes... My grandpa had an old pair and I just like... very careful I wear them. Probably too big for... They are actually too big for me, but...
Well, they should be. You're a size 7?
6.5 or 7, depending on the brand.
Yeah, see, I remember that. Always tip to any men who know any woman in any capacity. If they tell you their shoe size, remember it.
So I have been playing The Shady Part of Me. That was quite possibly the most animated you have ever looked in your life.
Just to cover there, because my recording didn't pick up you laughing. You said what you've been playing. I pulled a face, and then you burst out laughing.
Yes.
Right, because on mine it was a blank radio play because it didn't get your response or my face, obviously.
So yeah, I've been playing The Shady Part of Me. And it's getting a little bit more interesting. I think I'm getting close to the end. But then again, you have to collect birds as you go along, and you can collect shadow birds and as well as origami birds. And I think I'm on 38 birds, and I think there's about 98. So that makes me think that there's still quite a lot to actually go. But then again, I may have missed a lot. I was fully unable to get 2 of them, which was very annoying. But I even had to look up a tutorial and I couldn't find anybody that had actually gotten them. It's just like one of those little things that you need to get to 100% the game. And it's interesting because right at the very beginning there wasn't a lot of talking between the 2 characters, but now there seems to be a lot more. But also there seems to be interaction between the shadow girl and who I presume is possibly a therapist or a doctor. Because there's like an older man's voice that keeps like appearing every now and again. It's still really fascinating. Like it is definitely worth buying and playing it, in my opinion. Because it's a puzzle game. Sometimes the puzzles are incredibly infuriating, but other times it's okay.
What kind of puzzle?
I think I've talked about it before, where it's the 2 characters have to do something to complete a puzzle to get onto the next level, to get to the next part of the game. So it's, I don't know what kind of problem-solving puzzle. So, like, you have to create shadow for...
Yeah, that's just a puzzle, Hen. A problem-solving puzzle is just a puzzle.
Well, no. You've got, like, a crossword's a puzzle. I don't see that as a problem-solving thing.
Right.
Sudoku is a puzzle.
So,
I don't see that as a problem-solving thing.
Okay, well, what I'm trying to get across is that a problem-solving puzzle could still be theoretical within a game. The game could ask you a question, setting out a premise, and then give you 4 options to answer with. What I'm asking is it a real-time... Sorry, I've got... My headphones keep falling off. Is it a real puzzle that you're having to solve in the moment? Like, how do I climb to the top of this building? Right, that was a yes. Did you say yes?
Yes, right. Yes.
So, okay, right, okay. So it's puzzle solving. So it's like, is it platform puzzles? Is it I need to move these things around to solve this? Is it do they give you a clue?
There isn't really a there's like clues at the beginning, and then there's no they make the clues less obvious as you go along. But I have to move this thing here.
Right, but they're context clues. They're not like, they won't give you like a riddle to solve.
No.
Right, okay. So it's entirely context-based puzzles and solutions and clues. There's no hypothetical scenarios or
No,
riddles to solve or anything like that.
no.
Okay. So how do you know you're doing a puzzle?
That is the entire embodiment of the game. It is basically one giant puzzle of trying to get two characters from level to level.
Right. Okay.
It's not like you go along and there's nothing there and then all of a sudden, oh, there's a puzzle. It's like a continuous thing.
So in
But this is what I was
essence,
talking about.
playing the game is solving a puzzle of some description at every point.
Yeah, because this is what I was talking about before. It's a bit tedious when you're playing the puzzle and you finish a level as one character and sometimes you have to go all the way back to finish it as the other character, and then other times it's I'm this character, then I'm character A, then character B, character A, character B, like throughout the entire level, and that's a bit tedious.
Because you're repeating it. Normally
Yeah.
games which are a bit smarter, what they'll have happen is that character A will open the way for B and then B will open a shortcut for A, and that way you're not ever doing the same thing twice.
It's a bit like that, but it's also not like that. It's really difficult
Do you
to
have them on
explain.
different paths? Are they on different
They're
pathways?
they're on technically the same path, but because one's a shadow, it runs along a shadow path, and
So, well, I guess what I'm saying from a platforming point of view, are you doing a different thing with different characters, or is it the same, running along the same piece of track, jumping at the same time or whatever?
it's slightly different.
But not
It's
enough.
it's almost the same, but slightly different.
But not enough.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's not enough.
Okay.
But like I said, I think it's definitely worthwhile a play. Like it's a lot longer than I actually initially anticipated it to be. I thought I'd finish it by now.
Sorry, can I just clarify? Because you said that sentence a bit strange for me. It's a worthwhile play, or it's worth a play?
It's a worthwhile play.
So
Like,
it's just said it's worthwhile a play, so I just wanted to clarify.
it's worth a play.
Right.
If you've got like a spare, like it's not. Some puzzles are very complicated. Like it takes a while to work out what it is you're supposed to be doing. Some puzzles are very easy.
How long is the game?
I don't actually know. I don't know how long I've been playing it for. I think I've been playing it for at least 3 hours.
And do you think you're near the end, halfway through?
The amount of birds I've gotten tells me I'm about halfway. But the story pace makes me feel like I'm close to the end and maybe I've just missed a lot of stuff.
So it's 3 to 6 hours you would guess at.
I think so.
So it's
It probably does. It probably does tell you how long it is.
So it's a bit of a smaller game, although funnily enough in the window of a modern Call of Duty.
Well, so far there's only three voice actors in it.
That's fine. But what we would say is that it's a small game, short game for a specific thing.
I think so.
Right. Whereas, and you've been enjoying it even though it's got problems.
No, yeah, I have been enjoying it.
Because
I
I
think
can
there was
tell
only
you.
One point where I actually had to look up how to complete something.
Right.
But I've been pretty good at completing it myself since then.
Okay. So yeah, have you got anything else to say about
Not particularly. Have a go at
your
it if you can.
shadiness?
Have
The shady bits of shady parts of you?
Part of me.
Yeah, the shady part of you. What's it
So
actually
that's
called?
all I.
What's it actually
that's what
called?
I-
Sorry.
The shady part of me.
Right. That would be the bit
So have
behind you when you're looking at the sun.
Have a go at it if you can, and we will continue with what Tommy has been playing.
No. I'm not going to talk about Assassin's Creed Origins. I'll do that once I'm done, and I'm nearly done.
Thank you.
We shall instead talk about something else.
Is it by any chance?
We played some FIFA, not FIFA. We played some F1.
Yes, we did. We did, and
Me, you, and Mind Bloda, and me
Yeah.
and my brother were having actual races competing, and you were.
toddling about.
Well, what we did was it was 5-lap races with no AI, and for the first lap we would take you round the track so you could learn it.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that was happening.
and then we raced.
I think that you were cheating. Because I heard a lot over the headset that your brother was saying that, oi, 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 that's like cutting corners and things like that, and you just giggling.
No, because he was also cutting the corners and then saying, I'm just taking less speed into them. No, you're not taking the corner. You're just cutting across it. Like, I can see that. You're all 4 wheels off the track. You'd be done for that if the rules were on. The rules don't work very well, so we turned them off.
We played a couple of times with your brother. He's a lot calmer at explaining things to me than you are.
Yeah. I'm just an angry, unpleasant man.
But you're not angry and unpleasant. I think you just get a bit too pepped up on it.
I wouldn't say I'm angry. I'm just sort of...
I didn't say you're angry. You're the one that said you were angry.
I'm just sort of like...
I just thought your brother was just like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just you're doing great, Abigail. You're doing great.
I think I just buy into what
I'm
doing.
I believe you.
I just think I buy into what I'm doing so much. You know? I like to lose myself a bit in what I'm doing. So if I'm going to die, I'm quite... no, I'm going to die. Or you need to throw that grenade, and if you don't make it perfectly, we're all going to die. You know, that sort of stuff. Whereas he's just like, whatever, you know? Stuff happens.
I was able to land a helicopter, and both of us were still alive.
That was incredible. It was really your first time properly flying a helicopter in ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
good. Because the thing was, there's 2 helicopters. You took 1 helicopter.
Can I just say something that we've moved to GTA without telling anybody else we've done that?
I think I did say we were playing GTA.
I didn't hear it, and so it sounds a bit like we're still talking about F1.
All those helicopters in F1.
Yeah, we'll just finish the F1 story if I may. There was honestly a point where we ran 2 decent laps, me and my brother, and you caught us up anyway. You actually just ran a really good lap.
Yeah.
And you finished about, was it 25 seconds behind us? Which is not bad.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was like 20 seconds.
The first one was 20,
21.
The second one was 28, so I'm sort of balancing it out.
Okay.
So you did really well. You learned, like, the rate of progress you had was actually pretty incredible.
Yeah, but then I actually went and played it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is, it's not very user-friendly for the tutorial. So there is a bit of a tutorial, but it's not the best.
If I'm being honest with you, it's because you need a tutorial in driving games, not that one specifically. And that's what games won't necessarily do that.
No, that it should, but it should at least tell you that these are what the buttons do.
I think maybe it didn't do that for you because you had already done races.
I don't know, but it was the campaign that I was doing.
No, but my point is, if you've already done something, it won't tell you what the buttons are again because it assumes you know because you've already done a race.
I got yelled at quite a lot for cutting corners, but the problem was I got spun out and I didn't know how to get back on the track.
Oh, yeah. See, here's the thing. See, that's why we turn the rules off. See, if you spin out,
yeah,
and then drive back onto the track, it'll sometimes just decide that you cut the corner and give you a penalty. It's a really bad system for the F1 games. That's why I don't play them anymore. But yeah.
So anyway, that was F1.
And then we played some GTA as well, and we had to regularly steal helicopters. It was basically all we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, there was a moment where in one of the games we had to steal a couple of helicopters and land them. You took one, I took the other, and your brother hopped in the back of the helicopter I was in. And there was just this moment where I was just like, oh, I've forgotten how to fly it. And your brother was like, oh, you'll be fine. You just press this button. And I just heard like over the headset going, wait, what? He's not flying? You're flying? And there's like this absolute panic just set in. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Because there was 3 enemy choppers bearing down on us, and you obviously had to focus on flying to where we were going, not fighting.
Yes.
So I had to fight for us and cover everything off.
And there was a really funny moment where we were just about to end the session, and I drove back to my house because I thought that's what we were doing. But it turned out you two had like stolen helicopters or something like this.
Yeah, we'd started fighting each other.
Had basically flying about, and then the next thing I just hear like absolute carnage over the headset. I'm like, what is going on? So I leave my house, and just outside there's just a
hold on. I'm going to interject, and then you're going to tell me, once I've said what I've said, what you saw outside.
Okay.
So, me and my brother had killed each other a couple of times. But he'd managed to steal a helicopter and drive off while I was dealing with the police.
Yeah.
But I managed to then steal a faster helicopter. He was in a cargo bob, which is a Chinook, and I was in an attack buzzard thing, like a tiny wee thing with missiles on it. It's like it's like the helicopters in 1960s Batman, but with missiles. Think You Only Live Twice, Little Nelly. Like small.
I have got no idea what that means.
That's fine. And I was able to catch up to him as he was preparing to land outside of his house. But I got a missile lock anyway, and he was proud of himself for, oh look, I've landed in the middle of this road, and it was a house on one side, cliff on the other, and he's managed to land it straight down perfectly. But I just come buzzing across the top of him and fire 2 rockets.
So, yes, as I was saying, I walked out of the house and there was just this burnt out wreck of a helicopter and all these cars. I'm like, what actually happened? I leave you two alone for 5 minutes and you've destroyed the neighborhood.
And the reason why you were able to walk outside and see that is you and my brother own the same house.
Yes.
Which he didn't know, so when we started...
I forgot nobody had told him.
Yeah, was it you who was already outside or was it him?
Yeah, I was already outside.
Yeah. So he was saying, well, we need to go and pick up Abigail. Get outside your house, and you were there. And like, that's weird. Why? Well, she's already here, but I thought she was...
It was good. So, what have actually you've been playing by yourself or with...
I was playing Divinity with my brother. We play that, and if you want to know, like the downside to Divinity is it's really hard, and everybody will tell you it's basically a trial and error game.
Yeah.
Just play it until you die. Apparently, somebody said don't be frightened to restart your campaign a few times because it's going to be difficult. You're like, I can't do that. I can't spend 40 hours learning how to play the game.
Yeah, that's a bit unreasonable. Always prepared fest.
It's really sort of a you have to know everything that's going to happen fest. Because, you know what? Because the thing is, there's only so many enemies. They're all the same enemies all the time. They're always in the same place and they're all the same level. So if you've played the game before, you know exactly what you're doing. But if you haven't, you'll find yourself getting ambushed and basically betrayed by the game over and over again. Like we fought a boss that you're supposed to be able to take control of using an item, but it bugs and doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we kept losing over and over again until we decided to stop trying that and do it a different way. And just that fight I was in just before we started recording this, first fight we were in, we got totally done in by the fact that it spawned us in, and instead of keeping us where we actually were, it just grouped us together. And then they did area of effect attacks, and we basically just went down within 2 turns.
Goodness.
The second one, we fought a different group of people instead, and I thought, right, I know exactly what we're going to do here. And I took out the guy in charge first.
Yeah.
I thought, right, that just leaves 3 weaker enemies. Unfortunately, in this particular fight, if you kill the boss, the leader of this gang, 3 more guys turn up. So if you take him out first, you're fighting 6. If you take him out last, you're fighting 4 and then 3.
That's crazy.
There was absolutely nothing we could do. Because it might be possible to win a fight like that later on when you've got, even if you're the same level, you've got more options available because you've got more powers. But every character is pretty focused on certain things at the beginning of the game because as a novice in any ability, you're only able to hold 3 powers in it, I think it is, as opposed to like 12 later on. So your options are completely limited. So we didn't really have anything we could do. So we just got annihilated. If something goes wrong in a fight, you're basically done.
That is genuinely just crazy. Like, it really is.
Yeah, but there's other fights where if you go in and you get... Basically, you will guess or gamble every single turn at some point. And if all of them go for you, you'll win quite easily. And if they don't, you have to reload it.
Jeez.
I'm not talking about you cast Frost and it freezes them, and if it doesn't, you have to reload it. I'm not talking about that, because it just means you're not ready for the fight. I'm talking about you'll cast Frost and it'll turn out that enemy is immune to it. And you're sitting thinking, There was no context clue for that. There was no ability to know that. I've just had to learn it by doing this. But then you'll cast Lightning Bolt on someone else and they can't be stunned. I'll try and knock down someone. They can't be knocked down. It's just, it will happen. There'll be a sequence of things that you didn't know about. And that's it. You've got 4 guys, they've got 12. Your entire turn's just been lost on attacks that didn't do anything. And then, boom, you're dead. It's based quite heavily, I'd say, obviously on D&D, and I'd say that that's one of the things that they tell you about D&D. If you want your players to feel powerful but never be in danger, give them one boss to fight, because the guy only gets 1 attack per round, so they can't do that much damage. If you want them to be in danger, you give them a host of enemies to fight, because that's 5 or 6 attacks, and if they all gang up on one, they'll kill them. If you want them to be absolutely screwed, you bring in a boss. You bring in 3 or 4 bosses.
That just sounds like a lot of headache, and I don't think I'd enjoy that.
But that's what this game is. This game is every single fight you're against somewhere in the region of, I'd say, 4 to 6 or 7 enemies. I don't think I've been in a fight with less than 4 unless it was a specific sort of story set piece. And it means that you're always liable to die, because if all 4 weaklings gang up on one, they can't survive. So it makes the game really hard.
I think you both have a lot more patience than I do, because I think if this was me, I would have given up a long time ago.
Well, I wouldn't give up, but I think my brother's a lot more, oh, come on, let's just keep playing. And I'm a lot more, no, let's load it up straight away because we can't possibly win this. And basically every time I've said that, I've been right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there've been times when I'm the one in charge of the game because it's my game that he's invited to, basically. And there are times when I've just loaded it up because there's no hope. You can't, there's no way to win. The one guy who's got full health is totally surrounded. The others are all about to drop. We can't possibly win. There's 7 of them.
No, I totally get that, because I do the same. Like, you see that F1 campaign I was playing by myself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just got to the stage where it's like, I'm so far behind, I'm not going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if I just restarted it, about 4 times.
But over the course of a season, you could fix that. But if we lose a fight, we have to load it up anyway.
Yeah.
So if we're at the stage where we definitely can't win, there's no point in finishing that fight because we won't get anything from it. We'll die and have to load it up. So to save time,
there's just no point.
Yeah, it's very. In other words, for your first playthrough, you're going to be loading it a lot, and the only time you won't load it is if you were lucky. Because it's, as I said, in D&D, which is there's got to be similar basis for this game. It seems very similar. A group of enemies are way harder than one solitary boss. And that is what you're fighting constantly in this game.
It just sounds like a nightmare. It really does.
And you got to remember, when one of your characters goes down, that's a quarter of your attack.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, that person's down and then you're dealing the same amount of damage. They've stopped a quarter of the incoming attack. It's just, yeah.
That just sounds like an absolute nightmare. It really does.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying, but we are enjoying it.
Just a bit annoying.
It's slow, and it's very difficult, and it really needs a few more context clues, to be honest, because it doesn't describe itself very well. You learn by doing in that game, but because it's so difficult, you don't get a chance to learn by doing without reloading, and then you feel a bit like you're cheating, but there's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I am having fun with it, and I do enjoy playing it, but I am looking forward to the part where I'm powerful enough that if something goes wrong in a fight, it's not, oh, what do I do now? That's it, game over.
You think it'll get better, or do you think it's just going to kind of stay the same level?
I think it'll get better when we can level up to the higher abilities, because apparently those are when your characters become really powerful.
Well, that'll be good.
Yeah, we just have to keep muddling along until we get there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, do you have anything else you wish to discuss today?
No, I think that's everything I've been playing. What about you?
Same. So, If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can always subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. You can hit the notification bell for when we upload. You can hit the share button, the like button. Share it with your friends and enemies. Anybody you want. You can leave a comment down below. I did that.
You did that? Okay.
Yes, I did that.
Sorry.
If you were listening.
Sorry, my hair went in my eye, so I think I didn't hear it.
I genuinely.
I hear with my eyes.
I honestly don't know how you can cope with your hair in your eyes like that. Get rid of the center parting, please.
Yeah, hold on.
Nobody looks good at the center parting.
It's just to center part the hair around my eyes.
I know, but it's side parting.
No, my
With
KOTOR
side parting.
and my Dragon Age characters both had the side parting with slightly longer than normal hair.
You look like one of the characters out of the fourth Harry Potter movie.
I'm actually
where
starting
all the
to
boys
look,
had long hair.
I'm starting to look a bit like my characters from video games whenever I had to pick the one with long hair.
So if you'd like to leave a comment down below, that'd be fantastic. Or you can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. So thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you guys come back next week.
Yes.
With Tommy's long hair.
My long hair that's able to tickle me between the shoulder blades.
If he's not careful, I will go over to his house and buzz it off.
You'll buzz my house off?
Buzz your hair off.
Oh.
You knew that was what I meant. You knew that's what I meant.
I'm just making sure that as many police officers as possible are currently listening to this podcast.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.